Not long ago we went out and bought a new gas grill because we couldn't get that big stainless steel grill out there to work right. We've been using the old tanks. Got to interrupt it for a second. The tanks feel like they got at least half full. These two old tanks. Now, on that one out there, we would turn on the gas and all we get is a small flame. We didn't get no big flame. This here worked pretty good the first couple times we used it. Now it's putting out a small flame. And I derived the idea that not both barbecue grills could be bad, so it's got to be the tank. And I'm wondering if the tank has got too much air pressure in there to let the dang propane evaporate. Propane is liquid. So we're going to take it out here in the yard and see if I can open that vent screw and drain some pressure and see if we can get a bigger flame out of this tank. If not, I'll use the new tank that we went out and bought last week. But I'm going to get out here in the middle of the yard in case I get this vent open and can't get it closed. Let's see what size screwdriver does it take. Now propane has a mercaptan smell, the chemical that they put in propane. I think what I'm letting out is pure air. And we've had this tank charged by the gas truck when he delivered propane here to the house the last few times. I realize the tank could be clogged with rust in there, and the government has put a new kind of valve on here that stops the flow of gas. I don't know how to explain it, but that tank feels like it's got a good half a tank full. So there's a good 3 or 4 pounds of propane in there. That air is coming out the bottom, not very cold. I don't know how long to run it. I watched a guy on video, a video on somebody's YouTube video, and this is what he done and claimed it fixed his problem. The worst I could be doing is letting my gas out. I could see some gas coming out then. Wonder if I've let enough air out. Let's go hook it up to the grill and see if I get a bigger flame. Oh yeah, there's gas in there. Alright, this is called grilling for dummies. I got the tank, let a lot of air out of it. Hopefully that will unstick that valve in there. I'm going to turn it on really slow. From what I understand on the videos that I watched, that government valve, when that gas is coming out too fast, it thinks you got a leak and it springs up and clogs up your hole. Let's see what happens. That's a pretty good sized flame. Alright, while that's heating up, to see if I could get, before on small flame I couldn't get it to heat up more than about 300 degrees. We're going to let it run a minute and see if we can get it up higher. In the meantime, I'll go drain the other tank. Alright, I've got my other propane tank out here. Don't let some air out of it. Can you hear it? These tanks are supposed to be purged, just like if you're charging an air conditioner, Freon in an air conditioner. You got to purge the air out of it. If that tank is full of air and I pump it full of liquid propane, it's still full of air and propane. All you want in there is liquid propane. And I'm thinking the problem, I didn't really need to buy a new grill. I'm thinking the problem is the people that fill your tank don't purge them properly. There's no gas smell to what's coming out at all. That's air. I think I've been having this tank recharged when it wasn't even empty. Anyway, before I go out and buy another new tank, we bought one new tank last week. I thought I would purge the air out of these things, or let the air out, and see if I get a better improvement of flame out of them. Anyway, not much of a vlog today. We'll take one more look at this one here, hooked up to the grill before I quit, and we'll see what the temperature is on the other old tank that I hooked up 5 minutes ago. All I did was hook up the old tank after I let the air out, and the temperature is 450 degrees. A lot hotter than we could get it the other day. We can grill with these old tanks now. We're going to hook that one up. What we're attempting to do today is bake a chicken on our grill. I turned off these two burners here to try to bring the temperature down. It's burning real good now. I'm definitely no expert when it comes to repairing grills. And I've only got two burners going, and I got such good flames coming out of that tank now, it's still too hot to bake a chicken. So let's lower the temperature a little bit on these two that are burning. See if I can regulate it down to closer to a lower temperature. A little bit out cheat. Anyway, I think I solved my problem by purging the air out of my tanks. And we've been using these tanks for 20 years probably. They might even be out of date, but the man's been filling them and they work. I wouldn't rule out the fact they could be rusty in there. We went down to Tractor Supply and bought this new one last week because I wanted to cook some steak. What I'm going to do when this one gets empty, they are old tanks, I'm going to take it to one of these places where you exchange your tank for another one that's already full and exchange it. Somebody else can worry about updating the date on it. That is, providing they don't reject the tank. It's worth a try. Anyway, I used a flat blade screwdriver, fairly small, to turn that screw, and it worked pretty good. In fact, I'll leave my screwdriver right there in case I need to do it some more. Anyway, I got my temperature dropped down to looks like about 375. That's a little bit hot for that chicken. But you got to realize that's 375 up at the top of the grill. Down where the chicken is, it's probably closer to 300 anyway. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're going to bake that thing for an hour on our grill. Let me get a pot holder and let you take a look at that chicken. Yep, we're ready for you to cook, big boy. Do your thing. 350. Let's check it again in 5 minutes. Well, it's later in the evening, my friends. I should point out that our chicken came out quite well. It was pretty good. In about an hour, it was ready to eat. So we had some good baked chicken on the barbecue grill. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with the fact that I'm going to be able to use up the gas in my tanks instead of letting it be a loss. I feel quite certain I solved my problem. Thanks for tuning in today, and remember, this is not a how-to video, but rather a how I did it video. That thunder has been booming around here for 15-20 minutes now, and the clouds are looking awful rough. We got more than our share of rain this week. I got out here and finished cutting the grass the other day. Fortunately, the backyard was like a darn jungle. Y'all have a good day. This is P. Walpart, and we'll catch you later.